awesome!
Hey, what's up everyone? Sam and Layla here, and welcome back to More 5. First, I do want to apologise for not uploading in quite a while. It really was just a big mix of reasons, from being ill to having to catch up with other work and so forth. I won't bore you with the details, so let's get right into it. So this first story is one that's very shocking. It happened in Mexico. It's basically, I'll give you a quick rundown of the facts. A baby boy around a week old was thrown out of a moving car and died. Now the police are hunting down the people who did this. The baby boy was only a week old and he still had his umbilical cord attached. So it was basically a newborn baby boy pretty much. Most likely the parents who didn't want the child decided easiest way to get rid of the child is to throw it out of a moving car and just act like nothing happened. Now this happened in Mexico in a small village called La Posta, and the locals there are very, very shocked at what happened, as you can imagine. I mean, it's a crime in my opinion that's just beyond human. In fact, not just human, it's beyond any living thing on this planet. To throw a 1 week-old baby boy out the window of a car, it's beyond me. I mean, I know people are capable of some really sick, disgusting things, but this is one of those stories that just really makes you lose faith in humanity completely, knowing that people are out there who are capable of doing something like that. But let's move on. So in the last episode, I showed you a video about a ghost caught on camera. This week we have another paranormal one, and it's about alien structures captured on the moon, basically. And leading UFO experts believe that it's more evidence to prove that there was alien life at some point on the moon. Now, looking at the pictures, I don't see it. To me, it just looks like natural rock formation. I don't see how that looks like definite proof of any alien activity on the moon. And a lot of the time these blurry pictures, now I know obviously it's taken on the moon, so the image quality is not going to be, amazing, but whenever a picture is blurry, it does change what you're really seeing. A good example is when I was young, I used to love making movies. Now, back in those days, obviously, the camera quality was absolutely rubbish. You could barely recognize anything you're filming. And we had a camcorder, and I must have been about, 12 years old or so. And I used to love making little movies. Now, me and my brother were shooting some film on the camcorder, and it was in the back garden, and we had a shed behind me, and the shed door was open. Nothing really in the shed, it was quite empty, no one ever used it. We had a washing line between me and the shed, and then me in the foreground. Now, the camera had the ability of taking a still photograph, and my brother took a still photograph of me here. So imagine the camera's here, here's of me, and far, far away is the shed. And there's a washing line in the middle with pegs hanging on them. Now, I went to edit the film and the pictures and stuff together to create a little movie, and it was some rubbish editing software that came with the camera. And when you edited it and exported the video file, the quality of the camera would reduce even more, right? Now, at the final version, on that picture, it looked like 100%, it looked like a real ghost that's just been caught on camera. Because on the shed, where the door opening of the shed was, there was literally a white figure that looked exactly like a human, the outline exactly like a person, and it was just standing perfectly in the door of the shed, right? And it looked exactly like a ghost. And I was completely convinced. I showed my parents, I showed my brother, I said, wow, look at this, we caught a ghost on camera, it's amazing. And everyone was like, holy crap, that actually looks like proper evidence, And at this time, didn't really have Photoshop. Well, they did have Photoshop, but I had no clue of how to use it. And I couldn't edit it or anything like that. I couldn't manipulate the picture. It looked 100% legitimate, like a real ghost photo. Until I went to look at the original quality image. Now, the original quality image, which was a bit better, you could clearly see that all it was one of the white pegs hanging on the clothing line just happened to be exactly in the same shot as the door of the shed. And it just happened to be, once blurred and the image quality was reduced, it looked exactly like a human figure inside the door frame. So, a lot of time, bit of coincidence, bit of luck, and if the image quality is a bit off, it can look like something completely different to what it really is. So To me, personally, I don't think there's anything alien about this. It just looks like normal rocks. Sure, you know, you can kind of say, well, that looks like a door and that looks like an entrance. But again, to me, I personally do think it is just a bunch of rocks. And this last story is just hilarious. This one I really cracked up when I read it. So in a remote Indonesian village, a local fisherman, they fish tanked the water what they believe to be an angel. Now, let me show you an image of the angel. Now, if you're wondering why it's dressed up and it's got all clothes and so forth, it's because the family that took it in, they really cared for the angel as well. They genuinely believe it was an angel child, and they, you know, put food out for it, and they dressed it and kept it clean, and, you know, they really cared for it. And, you know, it's actually quite sweet if you think about it. However, once it picked up in the media, the police then decided, you know what, we're going to have a little investigation on this. And they discovered that it was not an angel, it was actually a sex doll. I mean, it's just one of those stories. I mean, I believe because it was in such a remote village, they probably had no clue something like a sex doll even exists. And, you know, they had no clue what it was. So they thought, my God, you know, it must be an angel. And it's kind of sweet, you know, but they looked after it and cared for it, only for it to turn out to be this crude object. You can't speak ill of the people who took care of it. I mean, they genuinely believed it was something special. But yeah, I'll leave it at that. So once again, guys, I hope you enjoyed this video. Thank you for watching, and from me and Layla, until next time, feed your mind.